Welcome back. Shotgun FPV here. Woo! My everything's official. The profile picture finally changed on my stupid YouTube channel. When they said it might take a bit to actually change, they weren't kidding. It took a bit. So mainly I'm doing this live because I literally I don't know. Yeah. I know people complain about people using that word because they don't use it properly, but I don't know how that's not proper because I literally do not have time to edit anymore. Ever. I mean, the only reason why I'm able to get those little beer shotgun and tiny whip race videos up is because it takes me 10 minutes to edit them. You know? So yeah, I have 10 minutes basically a day. Give or take. You know what? And that's not even true because that last Shotgun FPV video took me 2 days. It took me 2 days to edit a... What was it? I think I kept it under 2 minutes because I wanted to be able to put it on Facebook. Regardless. Creamer. Where's my creamer? I'm doing this live because... I don't know. For some reason, I just like live. And I don't have to edit live. I should edit live because I'm sure my live streams suck. But hey, you know, really nobody watches my YouTube channel anyways besides my friends and people I know and whatnot. And I've watched plenty of live YouTube feeds that are, you know, not the greatest. And I'm at a loss of words here because I'm just trying to get this cup of coffee going there. Now I can see. I wonder how much of a drastic difference it makes between the front and rear camera. What I don't like about the front camera is that it always looks like I'm looking away and I can't stare straight at the camera. I don't know why that bothers me, but it does. Ah, yes. Anywho, all right, back on point. So, the main thing I want to do with this here quick live is just go over. If for some reason you're a beginner and you happen to stumble on this, this is just a quick thing of must-have equipment that everybody should have, in my opinion. And this is all opinion. And a little bit of a review on a couple of things. But alright, let's get to it. Oh, and thanks to Steve Schilling for letting me... oh, and I say his name wrong apparently. But you never told me how to say it. I know you sent it to me phonetically once, but I forgot what that said. So, alright, here we go. Bam, quad box. This is not mine. I wish it was. I wish I had jumped on that bandwagon because I can't do $50 a month. I mean, I can, but I can't because $50 a month is so many quad parts. What's up? Hey, both are here too. Shell-in? Steve Shell-in? Boy, it sure looks like shilling, but whatever, Shell-in. Anywho, quad box. Here we go. Oh yeah, what I was saying, $50 a month is too many quad parts for me. Especially with the way I go through props, you know, I mean, the 2 bags of props you get in one of these, I mean, that'll only last me 1 day. I need to buy, you know, 20 sets of props at a crack, and that's damn near $50. So, this is, what month is this? This is, November, so this must be November's quad box. And you get the, for starters, you get 2 bags of Gemfan. Oh, it's October's. Okay, it's October's quad box. And you get 2 of the Windbreaker, or Wind Dancer. Gemfan Wind Dancer. 3 sets. And I'm not seeing a pitch or anything on them. But it's so crazy how I can read things on the package through my phone better than I can. Oh, wait, there we are, 5042. 5042. So, yeah, they, you know, I've never really used a lot of GemFan props, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. I was kind of hoping these were the new gate breakers. I'd really like to try those, but, yeah, so you get 3 sets of those. And this is, what I think what the main thing is right here. Oh boy, they're not even shit. Hold on a second here. Yeah, one of my next investments here pretty soon when I, pay off my $3,500 balance on PayPal is going to be a gimbal, a handheld gimbal for the cell phone. So I look just, you know, maybe just a little professional. Just a little professional. Yeah, but here is the Cheapass, or the Cheapass, CHEEPASS motors that came in October's quad box. They are 2205, 2300 kV. And wow, I really like the black, how do they do that? Yeah, there we go. Black, there we go. Black motor screws. Those are pretty tight. I like how it's all black. And yeah, they're not pantless, but they are definitely light. My plant's making weird noises. Boy, that's something though that I noticed right off the bat. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to show this to you. I can try with the other camera. But look at the gap on that battery. Look at the gap on on the battery, on the magnets. That is a severe gap between the stator and the magnets. Is that the correct term? Versus like right there. Look at there. There's almost no. So the gaps are definitely uneven between the stator and the magnets. So that's something. I've never seen that in a motor before. That's probably why you get a full set of motors in a box that costs $50. I have not seen any reviews of people flying them yet, and I might, maybe, if somebody says okay, be able to show or see how they fly, because I have a new race frame coming, and the Bolt V2 and the Revolt V3 and a Micro Sparrow coming my way. I already have a Unify for it. All I need is motors. Wink, wink, wink. Another thing that I think is pretty cool, I mean, if you're just into the whole branding game, is this little solder scrubby ball thing with the, you know, I'll be honest with you, I don't care about quad box. I wish they had a big old Rotor Riot symbol here. I mean, why wouldn't they do that? I'm sorry, that is literally the stupidest thing. There should be a big old Rotor Riot symbol here. And they didn't even bother putting this little decal on there straight. I mean, it's crooked as hell. Oh, man, yeah. I guess you're right, though. You can put your own stickers on there. But, I mean, Chad Kapper's whole thing is building a brand. But yet he didn't take the opportunity to put a big old Rotor Riot symbol on there. Whatevs. Yeah, so there's that. There's this thing here, from what I've heard. Yeah, it helps you get your props off. You put the little rubber thing around the motor, and you squeeze it around the motor, and it grips it, so you can get your props off, which I bet would be handy. That right there is awesome. A Rick and Morty sticker. And there's the sticker right there for the solder thingy that should have had a symbol on it already. 10% off of a X-Hover frame, or not just a frame, but anything. I guess $10 off from X-Hover, which is cool. And the shirt, which I've definitely not seen. So yeah, let's look at a cardboard box for a second. Oh, this is actually really cool. I like this. All right. That's actually really cool. So yeah, that's the shirt. So that's what you get in October's Quad Box. You get a cool shirt, 10% off of X-Hover purchase, some stickers. Rick and Morty is awesome. The prop helper, a set of cheap-ass motors, and 3 sets of Gem Fan props, and a Atmospheric Adventures battery strap, and the solder scrunchy thing. Alright, so that's part 1. Part 2 is gear that I have, and almost all of it's not mine. But I love it, and will probably purchase it at some point in time. First off, this MRF right here. Bam! The SDT charger. This thing is fantastic. It charges quickly. I don't know why one charger would charge quicker than another one, but it balances every time perfectly. Look at it. All those cells, spot on. And every time it's over, every charge, every battery is dead nuts at 420 volts a cell. And as you can see, XT60. So you can take your super shitty banged up 4-cell batteries that still hold a charge, like these ones, and use them to charge your batteries that are actually worth a shit. Yeah. You know, I don't want to hate on anybody's stuff, but God, just do yourself a favor. Don't ever buy Dogcom batteries. I'm sorry. It's true. Look at this battery. Yeah, it is slightly banged up, but cell number 1, no good. This battery, slightly banged up, yes. Cell number 4, no good. This battery, almost in perfect condition. Cell number 2, no good. It's just, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's the fact. Another surprise. These are the Eachine V100 goggles. I got them for the Banggood sale. I got them for $99. I put them on, saw how small the field of view was, laughed, and was like, yep, I'll never ever use these. In fact, probably one of the funniest YouTube videos I've put up on my channel is of Tommy and Toothless RC Michael Olivier trying these on and just dying with laughter because of how horrible it is. But I flew for him for the first time the other night, just a tiny whip around my house. And I'll tell you what, I know everybody says take this foam down, which is true, because if you mash them on your head, the field of view is somewhat flyable, but the view, or the clarity, is amazing, ironically. When you can get the things close enough to your face for the field of view not to look ridiculous, the clarity in them it literally blew me away. I mean, it looked damn near HD, how clear it was. So, if you're okay, this ties into the other thing. You can probably still find these for like $100. And if you are just starting out, and by just starting out, I mean, in my opinion, I know a lot of people do not agree with this, you should get one of these. I know a lot of people say starting with a tiny whoop is bad. I mean, if you want to learn how to fly acro and stuff like that, starting with a Betaflight tiny whoop is probably might be a little better. But if you just want to go out and kick ass at races, or at least start to learn how to kick ass at tiny whip races, this is where it's at right here. And I'm not the only person that thinks that. All the pros, well, I mean, at least all the pros that I met at MDX, which is major ones like Jet, Provo, Lunchbox, obviously Jesse Perkins, all fly this right here, which is the Tiny Whoop Racer that you can get at tinywhoop.com. You can get them with left or right circularized polarized antennas, dipoles. This is a stock Inductrix FPV board with 17.3 thousand kV motors, 17,300 kV motors, the special sauce motors. And I believe the camera mount gives it a couple more degrees of camera angle. I'm not sure if that's true. I could be lying. But this is what you see in all my Tiny Whoop videos. And if you get good, and if it's fast as hell. And I don't know, in my opinion, this is where you should start. It's where I started. And at least gives you the general feeling of how to fly a quadcopter. Obviously, its acro is completely different. You can technically fly these in acro, but you'd have to learn how to adjust the expo on your controller because it's basically uncontrollable in acro. But start with one of these and then get a Betaflight Tiny Whoop, like the Inductrix Pro that runs on Betaflight. Hell, as far as I know, you can put that on the nearest Betaflight. At the highest, or the the Inductrix Pro you could put on Betaflight 3 blah blah blah, and as far as I know, that means you can get your Tiny Whoop to do turtle mode. But don't quote me on that. But I believe I've heard that that's happened. So that I think would be a great starter for somebody looking to get into this. And really, I still stand by. Well, the only thing that sucks about this is that it limits you to Spectrum. That's the worst thing about it, is it limits you to Spectrum. But you can get, if you go the route of Taranis, you can get the failsafe module for your Taranis, which is just the thing that plugs on the back, which lets you fly Spectrum things. So that's just my opinion. But these goggles are super cheap. And as far from everything I've heard, that once you get outside and try flying a 5-inch, the range is horrible on these things. But the resolution of the screen is amazing. It really is. It blew me away when I flew it around my house the other day. So that's that. Tiny Whoop Eachine EV100s. And to go with that Tiny Whoop, oh yeah, for starters, don't bother getting any Tiny Whoop unless you either get the power, the 2.0 LiPo power cord thingy. The Tiny Whoop racers come with that already on them stock. That's the best thing about these things, that it comes with the 2.0 power cord and the circular polarized antenna. I literally flew behind like a 20-foot wide stone pillar in a cave at MDX with that antenna. And yeah, of course it broke up and got shitty, but I still made it. Could not believe that. Could not believe it. I mean, any house or anything like that, you can fly around anywhere, no problem. I mean, I flew down into my friend's basement and then back up and then all the way across the other side. I mean, it's with zero breakup. So, with all that rambling, yeah. And right there, boom. I know I'm whoring Tiny Whoop big time, but you know what? It's there. I will whore Tiny Whoop to the day I die because of that man right there. Jesse Perkins is one of the nicest persons I've ever met in my entire life. And I'll pitch his shit till the day I die, and I don't care. I'll be a Tiny Whoop shill. But these batteries right here, They're the best as far as I'm concerned. And to go with that is this little mammer jammer right there. This thing is by far the coolest thing ever. This is a parallel board for the 2.0 plugs or the old school, whatever you call those. Also, XT60. You can use your shitty 4-cell or 3-cell batteries to power this thing, and you can charge 6 Tiny Whip batteries at a crack. And the best thing is that you don't have to worry about anything. This is, it's like smart. It turns the batteries on and off when they're charged. So each individual one is green when it's red when it's charging, and when it's green, it turns it off. So you can just set it and forget it, which you can't do with regular parallel boards. So that is the best setup for a beginner I can possibly say right there. Those goggles, a Tiny Whip racer, the Strix Tiny Whip parallel board. Oh, by the way, it also comes with a DC plug-in thingy with an XT60 connector on, which you can use for this charger right here. This is the power supply for that Strix 1-cell charger. So you get 2 bangs for your buck out of that with this thing. And in the line of parallel charge, oh yeah, here, this is another thing right there. This is a non-smart version of a parallel board for the 1-cell. This, I mean, really, with 1-cells is once your quad falls out of the sky, it's pretty much the same voltage. So I've never really, I mean, I've never even used a 1-cell checker. I just, you know, once it falls out of the sky, I just plug them all in. And this you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, so that one's 6 too. So in theory, I can charge 6 at a crack, but you need a charger for this. You know, you need a separate, because obviously you can't plug in an XT60 to that thing. This thing's awesome because you can literally drive down the road to your Tiny Whip event and be charging batteries while you're on your way there. All right, next. This is the Joshua Bardwell parallel charger board, the new one. The one that he's all like, this is the greatest thing ever. It is nice. It does what it does. All the fuses and whatnot give you safety and what have you. I've used it twice now. It works great. Only can do 4-cell. Only 4-cell. And one thing that just kind of bothers me about a little bit of my slight OCD is like, why the hell did they have a 6-cell connector on there when it's only a 4-cell? I mean, I don't know, like that's just stupid. I don't know why they did that. Or what, yeah. So, yeah, it works great. It does what, it's also Strix, which makes this beautiful thing right here. But that's like 28 bucks. This one I got for 20 bucks, and I'm sure you can find one that's just the same for, hell, cheaper. Does the exact same thing, works just as good. It doesn't have all, this one's probably just a little safer. It's a little safer, and it gives you a voltage readout of your batteries while you're charging. But even that is a voltage readout of all your batteries combined, you know? So, I mean, I think it would be really cool if it told you each one. But, I don't know. I mean, this is just me. I would pay $100 for a parallel board if it did what this one did. If I could just plug my 4-cell batteries into this thing all willy-nilly, with not having to worry about what their voltage is at or what their cell is at or anything, and it turned them on and off individually, I would pay $100 for a parallel board that did that in a heartbeat. And my buddy Steve was telling me, you know, it takes a lot more, it's a lot more complicated. Sure, but if they can do it on this, I refuse to believe they can't do it on this, and I would pay at least $100. I mean, if it got like $200 or something like that, nah, maybe I'd just stick to worrying about where my voltages are at. But yeah, this is cool. It you know, probably make it a little harder to burn your house down. I just wish it worked like this thing. So yeah, Joshua Bardwell's parallel board, and then one that, well, that and this one, you know, does 2 through 6 cell. Is it 2 cell? Yeah, 2 through 6 cell. This one you can only do 4-cell, but you'll have a harder time burning your house down with that. Another thing is I don't have a clue in the world why they did that. Why the hell did they put the female end on the XT? Or I mean, that's the wrong end. I don't even understand why. I don't understand why they did that, but it makes it so you absolutely have to have. I mean, thankfully it comes with it. You have to have this thing. This is the end that should be on there, but it's not. And I cannot see any practical reason why that end is not on there. But that's how they did it. So, yeah, anywho. Works good, keeps your house safe. Best parallel charger ever in the history of mankind. Works just as good. Can charge more than 4 cells. Just have to be a little more careful about your voltages on your batteries. Next, this guy right here. This is the Storm Sirio. Doesn't that plug directly into an ISD charger? Yep, okay. But, yeah, okay, alright, that makes sense. So, yeah, Steve just pointed out a correct fact of something that I didn't realize. That's why they have that end on there. Because then you can plug that end into the ISD charger. So, okay. Alright, so there you go. That's why it makes sense. Good on you, Joshua Bardwell. Next, this is the Storm Sirio i6 or whatever. I've always poo-pooed on micros because I just don't like how they feel. I like heavier, faster, stronger quads, X2, whatever, Sirio X2, blah, blah, blah. And I believe this is the Storm spec version. Also not my quad. But if you live in a tight, cramped area, but you have a little bit of a yard, 2-inch micro is where it's at. It'll do all the flips and rolls you want to, but you're not gonna be, you're not gonna be freestyling like a mofo with this thing and like doing Matty flips and, well, I mean, I'm sure you could if you got really super good, but it's so light that it's just hard to do that kind of stuff with. You can't throw it over things, you can't use its own mass in your advantage. But damn, is it fun just to rip around in your yard if you got a tight, cramped area. This thing is got full Betaflight OSD. You can tune it through your goggles, which is amazing. It's got the Runcam Micro Swift. So, I mean, legit FPV camera, legit flight controller, PDB, all that stuff. The prop guards, you don't even have to take them off. I don't think it affects the flight at all. The only thing is that it comes with that little tiny dipole antenna, which supposedly there's supposed to be a little tiny piece that sticks out like that far of the dipole. And apparently, I must have just nicked a branch or something and lopped the tip of that antenna off. And now I can only fly like 15 feet away from me before I lose video. So I have a new circular polarized whip antenna UFL connector, so I can just take it out and snap it right into the VTX. And should have my video back and in maybe even some more distance because of the circular polarized instead of the dipole. These prefab ones are expensive. This was, oh yeah, and apparently the owner of this quad just got the TPU canopy for it, which I believe they sell. They sell a full version with the TPU canopy already. So yeah, $260 for this thing. In my opinion, it's worth every penny. to, can you imagine? Oh man, I can't imagine. I can't imagine having to, I mean, sure, with the 4-in-1, it's probably a little easier. I don't want to do that though. Look at that shit. It's microscopic. I do not want to deal with that. I have a hard enough time doing that shit on a 5-inch. So $260, you take it out of a box and you rip ass. Worth it to me. I will probably have a few of these things eventually. I just have to buy a Tyrannus first. Because unfortunately, 90% of these, in fact, these storms from Halipal is where you get all of these. I don't know if you can get them anywhere else. Almost all of them are Free Sky. And I do not have a Tyrannus. Except for the one that I'm borrowing right now. Yeah, LEDs, beeper, everything. $260. I think it's a great deal, and it rips ass. Oh, and I think it might have, Steve, I don't know, did this come with, was this originally JST, and then you switched it to XT30? They sell, yes, it was, yeah, this was originally JST, which sucks. I would say definitely switch to XT30. They sell Radiolink brand. I don't know what Radiolink is, if that's just another type of controller. It ain't Spectrum, I know that much. Well, we also added the prop guards. Okay, so apparently it didn't come with the prop guards. What was I coming over here for? I cannot remember what I was coming over here for. Oh yeah, this thing. Yeah. See, I also have this from the guy where I get all my frames and everything from. This is the new CJ5 Nano, which I have not even opened the bag because I am terrified of building this thing. It is microscopic, and I don't have the time or patience to deal with something like that right now. Versus that, you pay a little bit out of your ass, pull it out of a box, and you're ripping. This looks like hours of frustration and rage and anger and smashing things and drinking too much. And so, yeah, not to mention buying parts and motors and... But I will build that thing someday. And I apologize for sounding like I'm on my deathbed, but I am. What is that small charger? Oh, Steve, where did you get that? Where did you get that? Oh, probably Ready-Made RC. Where'd you get the power board or the parallel charger for the Tiny Whoops? I can only assume it's Ready-Made RC. I believe they do a lot of strict stuff. Come on, Steve, you're holding up traffic. Yeah, Ready-Made RC. Yep, so that's where you get it, Sean. And in fact, I believe Jesse had like 4 of those boards on another board, just kind of like hot glued together. And but he had like again, smart people with those. They have an HV version that is white. That I thought that thing is HV, only HV. And a standard version that's black. Okay, so they're the same thing, one's just a different color. That's the only downside about this is that it's only HV. You can only charge HV packs on this thing. But really, who doesn't use HV batteries for their Tiny Whoop nowadays? Who doesn't? Is it silly? You should. That's why every Tiny Whoop video that I've put up so far, the first like 3 seconds of me flying is trying to gain control of my stupid Tiny Whoop because the top end of these batteries are ridiculous. I mean, the first time I flew one, I accelerated straight into the ceiling of my apartment because it's like, it turns your Tiny Whoop into a rocket ship. These guys right here. Woo! Yeah, that's the only bad thing about those HV batteries. At the beginning of it is just way too much. The top end of those batteries is like a turbocharger. And Shane Dolan, God damn it! Sean Dolan himself, the Tiny Whoop master, says, yeah, rip around a little bit first. In fact, I would strongly recommend, A tiny whip race is only 2 minutes. You can get 4.5 minutes out of one of those 1-cells. So I would say, yeah, fly around, like do a practice lap, and then keep that battery on hand. And then when it comes to race, use that same battery again because you'll have plenty of juice left, and you won't have to be struggling to control the damn thing at the beginning of the race because it's too powerful. I mean, it almost is laughable to say that a tiny whip is too powerful, but with that setup, man, and those high voltage batteries, man, it is almost uncontrollable for the first like 60 seconds or 30 seconds. Ah, so that's it. That's all I got. 35 minutes. 205. Why do you think that you use 205 just because they're a little lighter, maybe? I mean, are we really splitting hairs here for saving like what, a quarter of a gram, maybe? I don't know. I don't have a digi scale anymore. That would be interesting. I do have a 205. It came with the Tiny Whip Racer when I bought it. But I mean, I don't see why there'd be much of a difference. Also, you know, another thing too, I gotta say, these guys right here, they don't seem to have all that extra powers. Okay. So apparently, the Tiny Whip Master says that the 205s are a little more manageable. But another thing is that these batteries right here, this is the original lipos that I bought with my first Inductrix FPV, like literally a year ago. And these ProTech lipos are still kicking. I mean, it's not even puffy. It's unbelievable. But they're crazy. I mean, they're way... I've never looked for them online, but I bought them at the hobby store, and they're insanely overpriced with everything at the hobby store, unfortunately. I love supporting brick and mortar, but holy shit, can you find things for cheaper online? And this I actually upgraded myself to, come on, to the 2.0. There we go. And it is surprisingly easier than you would think. But these things, I almost want to say they're kind of like the graphene of 1-cell batteries. They have awesome power and punch the whole time, and it's not out of control. All I can say is that with all the tracks that I've set up in my house the last couple of days with the timer, I can get the best lap times with these batteries. I don't know why, because I think they're just more manageable off the top, and you still get plenty of speed and power. And when they're done, they are done. They just drop out of the sky. There's no sag, no nothing. It's all power, 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 and then boom, it's done. So yeah, these are kind of like the graphene batteries of 1-cells. And if you're saying to yourself, I want to get a Tiny Whip Racer, but boy oh boy, I don't want to throw away the 27,000 1-cell batteries I have lying around. Shit, I don't know where it is offhand. But bear with me here a second. Too much shit everywhere. Oh yeah, here. Here's this is the Inductrix Pro that I was talking about. Ready out of the box, Betaflight and all that shit. Oh, but it does not have the 2.0 power connector. I had to put that on myself, and it is a bitch working on these tiny little boards. That's all I can say. It sucks ass, but I got it. I made it work. Now where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. My lipo. That's where Jesse Perkins gets. So you can see the little logo right there. Little German colors. Come on. Boom. MyLipo.com. Come on, camera. Focus. There we go. MyLipo.de, because they're German. Yeah, Germany. Go to that website, and for like $7, you get a kit of 10 of these kits to make the 1-cell small plugs into the big plugs. A total novice, and I did it no problem. You just got to find the right little wires in there, and it comes with these caps and everything, so you can make it look legit. And just okay, apparently you can get them at Micro Motor Warehouse too, but I got them at my LiPo. And just, solder them up, a little hot glue to put the cap on, and boom, you got yourself a 2.0 1-cell battery. And you don't have to throw away your old 1-cells. I did it to, literally 15 of them. Which is great because these little tattoo 1-cells are awesome too. And I really didn't want to throw those away, and I didn't have to. Oh, holy crap. 40 minutes. I've been rambling. So, yeah, if anybody who's new to this ever gets into this, hopefully this helps a little. I mean, honestly, I would have loved to have found a video like this when I first got into it. I would have also loved a video of talking strictly about the differences between Spektrum and Taranis, because now I wish I had a Taranis because of all the different things that it can do, but I also love my Spektrum, so I'm sure a lot of people have both. In fact, I know a lot of people have both, because a lot of the pros that I hunt out with at MDX have Taranis for all their race quads and Spektrum for all their tiny whoops. So, yeah. And another thing is, too, you don't have to be fancy. All you need is a decent-sized cardboard box, and you can build yourself a sweet race gate. I am very proud of this one myself. I had a few beers and looked at this cardboard box and was like, hey, I can make a sweet race gate out of that. And I did. So, yeah. That's it, y'all. I'm gonna get to getting, because I have like an hour and a half before I gotta go pick up my kid from daycare. And I have only looked at like maybe a 1/10 of my footage from MDX, and I'm just, as much as it sucks, I'm giving up on all of literally a month of vlogs that I haven't got to yet. Literally a month. I don't know how I'm ever going to have time to edit them. I don't. They're just going to sit on an external hard drive. Maybe someday I can get to it and start vlogging like I used to, but February's coming quick, and February's the cutoff of when I said I was going to vlogging for a year. And it really sucks that I'm going to get so close and kind of just make a short of it all. That's like 50 gigabytes of how am I gonna make a short of 50 gigabytes of vlogs? I don't know. I could. There's at least a few things in there that will definitely be made into a video for sure, of some really fun things, like the tiny whip racing in Chris's basement that night. That was super fun. Obviously, I'm gonna make a super cut of MDX. Tons of great flying. I mean, there was a period there where every flight I did was better than the next one. In fact, yeah, yesterday I went to a park and flew all of my packs for the first time in over a month probably. And I did some of the best flying I've ever done by far, and no one will ever see it. No one will ever see it, because apparently I forgot my GoPro, and on top of that, I forgot any SD cards to at least get DVR footage. So there's nothing. It's gone forever. And it didn't even bother me. It was probably the first time ever that I went out there and just flew for myself. I just flew to fly, and I did the best flying I've done in a long time. A lot of it, I think, has to do with those TBS Triumph antennas. Those things are fucking amazing, man. I could fly all over this giant ass park, behind buildings, trees, everything, and zero, not even little breakups, nothing. Just beautiful video the whole time. And they're expensive as hell. It's like $40 for 2, but it's worth it, man. Those things are fucking amazing. Yeah, as long as I haven't broken one yet, thankfully, and I crashed the hell out of them in the cave. Yeah. So it kind of breaks my heart now that no one will ever see it, but God, it was awesome. It was awesome. Just well, that okay, real quick. I hate and love Raceflight. I love Raceflight because it flies amazing. I hate Raceflight because at MTX I literally sat and listened to Preston and his goons talk mad shit nonstop for like an hour. Just standing outside and almost purposely loudful, like he was trying to be heard. I can just tell he was trying to be heard. Just talking mad shit. And I do agree that a little bit he has a little bit of right to talk shit because his shit works amazing. And if he is preying on noobs, he might have a right to, because I'm telling you, it took me 45 minutes to build a quad with Raceflight on it. I plugged it in. There was some issues. I went on their Facebook thing and got help within 20 minutes. Like an admin from Raceflight literally messaged me one-on-one until we figured it out. And we had that thing flying perfectly in 20 minutes. And it was just because I wasn't on the right firmware, and I just, I had no idea how to use Raceflight. But anywho, that quad flies amazing. It flies amazing. Zero tuning. All I did was turn up my rates a little bit because it just didn't flip fast enough for me. And it did a slight little wibble wobble on coming out of hard flips and rolls. And I just, I not even really knowing what to do, I just turned up the D like 2 clicks on both of those axes, and it took it away just like that. Boom, perfect. So my new quad that's coming, it's gonna be Raceflight. It's gonna be the V2 Bolt and the V3 Revolt, and yeah, because I know I'll just solder that bitch up, plug it in, and it'll fly great. And if I need to tune it at all, I'll just take the PIDs from the guy I bought it from, because he has the exact same setup that I have. Shit, I forgot how I was wrapping that up. Oh well, whatever. I'm done. I cannot believe I've been doing this for almost an hour. Yeah, that's it. I gotta go. I probably don't even have time to... Jesus Christ, yep. I gotta pick up my kid in 30 minutes. I'm not even gonna have time to edit. I smoked it all by doing this live. So yeah, maybe tonight or something I'll get to edit something, anything. I do have a Tiny Whip video that I'm about to finish. Yeah, I had to do this one in like 3 takes. So needless to say, I shotgunned 3 beers before this video, so I might have been a little drunk. So yeah, we'll see you guys later. And I'm sorry this has been 48 minutes long. We'll talk later. Bye.